Many adults are drowning in a sea of prescription medications to help them manage diseases like hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and arthritis. What if there was a way to reduce or eliminate the need for these medications with something that doesn't require a visit to the doctor, copays, or pre-approval from your insurance company? Well, there is something, and it's called exercise. Exercise has been shown to reduce or sometimes eliminate the need for many common medications. That's how powerful exercise is. Whether you are currently taking medications or not, you need to be dosing yourself with exercise. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fitness Roadmap, where we help you navigate the path to lifelong strength and health. If we haven't met before, I'm Mark Sinderson, and it's good to have you here to talk about why exercise is such good medicine for your body. More and more research is showing just how powerful exercise is in reducing the risk of a host of diseases. Our bodies have evolved over the millennia to respond positively to movement, and in today's world, our evolution might just be the solution we need. Recent studies have shown that regular exercise can reduce what's called all-cause mortality by 19% to as much as 30%. Now that's pretty powerful medicine. Now before we dive in, it's important to say that I am not encouraging you to stop taking any medications. Be sure to speak with your healthcare team and get their okay before starting an exercise program or making changes to any medication that you are taking. Now, what exactly qualifies as moderate or vigorous? We're going to be talking a lot about exercise amounts and levels, so here's the basic definition of moderate and vigorous as it relates to heart rate, so you can begin to relate it to what you may be currently doing. Moderate exercise is 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate, while vigorous exercise is about 70 to 85% of your maximum heart rate. So, think of walking at 17 to 20 minutes a mile pace as moderate and running at a 10 to 12 minute a mile pace as vigorous for most people. Now let's take a deeper look at how exercise can help our bodies when it comes to dealing with 5 common diseases that many adults over 40 deal with or will have to deal with. Let's start with the biggest first, and that's heart disease. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in America. In 2022, 703,000 people died from heart disease. That's the equivalent of 1 in every 5 deaths. How does regular exercise impact these numbers? Well, according to a study published in the journal Circulation in July of 2022, they said, individuals who met the current guidelines of 150 minutes to 300 minutes a week of moderate physical activity, 75 to 150 minutes a week of vigorous physical activity, or a combination of the two, had a 31% lower cardiovascular disease mortality rate and a 19% lower all-cause mortality rate, meaning death from any cause. Those are significant reductions. So here are just some of the benefits of exercise as it relates to lowering heart disease. First is it lowers blood pressure. Exercise helps reduce systolic and diastolic blood pressure, decreasing strain on heart and blood vessels. It improves heart efficiency. Regular physical activity strengthens the heart muscle, allowing it to pump blood more efficiently with fewer beats. Exercise also reduces LDL cholesterol and increases HDL cholesterol. Exercise helps lower what's called LDL or low-density lipoproteins, which has been linked to helping accumulate plaque in the arteries, while raising high-density lipoprotein or HDL, which helps remove cholesterol from the bloodstream. Exercise enhances circulation. It promotes better circulation, improving oxygen and nutrient delivery to tissues and organs while reducing the risk of blood clots. Exercise regulates blood sugar levels. Physical activity improves insulin sensitivity and helps maintain stable blood glucose levels, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes, which is a major contributor to cardiovascular disease. Exercise reduces inflammation. Now, chronic inflammation is linked to heart disease, and regular exercise helps lower inflammatory markers in the body. Exercise promotes weight management. Maintaining a healthy weight through exercise reduces the risk of obesity, which is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Exercise lowers resting heart rate. As the heart becomes more efficient with exercise, it requires fewer beats per minute to pump blood, reducing overall cardiac strain. Exercise strengthens blood vessels. It enhances our vascular function, keeping arteries flexible and reducing the risk of atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. So, the bottom line is that exercise is a great tool to help us reduce the impact of heart disease. The benefits of exercise on our heart and circulatory system are huge and can't be ignored. I think it's safe to say that exercise equals less heart disease. If you want to get started with aerobic conditioning, be sure to check out the link to my free Zone 2 Quickstart guide in the description below. Next on the list of diseases is high blood pressure. High blood pressure is one of the most common diseases faced by adults. Normal blood pressure should be 120/80. Unfortunately, over 40% of adults in the U.S. aged 45 to 64 have high blood pressure, and 60% of age 65 plus have it. This is according to a CDC report from March of 2024. And of those people with hypertension in those age groups, 80 to 92% of them take some type of high blood pressure medication. How can exercise help? Well, regular exercise can lower blood pressure, sometimes enough to eliminate the need for medication altogether. Exercise makes the heart stronger, and a stronger heart pumps blood more efficiently, lowering blood pressure. Now, according to an article published by the Mayo Clinic, studies show that regular aerobic exercise lowers systolic, the upper number, 4 to 10 points, and diastolic, the lower number, 5 to 8 points. Now, resistance training 2 times a week also lowers blood pressure by an average of 5 points in both systolic and diastolic in people with hypertension. So, when you add the benefits of aerobic, exercise, and resistance training together, you get an overall reduction that is enough for a lot of people to potentially never need medication. And even if a person still needs high blood pressure medication, the amount needed should be less for someone who is exercising. That's pretty powerful. Next up is diabetes. Now, diabetes, especially the type 2 variety, is becoming a serious problem for many adults. It affects just about every major system in the body. Now, here are some sobering numbers about diabetes. First is that it significantly elevates the risk of premature death. Individuals with type 2 diabetes are approximately twice as likely to experience early death compared to those without diabetes. In 2021, 38.4 million Americans, or just under 12% of the population, had diabetes. Of those 38.4 million adults, 29.7 million were diagnosed and 8.7 million were undiagnosed. The percentage of Americans aged 65 and older with diabetes remains pretty high at 29%, or 16.5 million seniors. 1.2 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every year, and in 2021, 97.6 million Americans age 18 and older had prediabetes. Now, how can exercise help the fight against diabetes? Well, it turns out quite a lot. In a 2016 position statement from the American Diabetes Association, they say that aerobic exercise benefits on diabetes are as follows. With type 2 diabetes, individuals with type 2 diabetes, regular training reduces A1C, triglycerides, blood pressure, and insulin resistance. Alternatively, high-intensity interval training, or HIIT training, promotes rapid enhancement of skeletal muscle oxidative capacity, insulin sensitivity, and glycemic control in adults with type 2 diabetes. And it can be performed without deterioration in glycemic control in type 1 diabetics. So, as you can see, the effect of exercise on diabetes is pretty dramatic. Exercise helps our body do a better job of managing insulin and blood sugar levels and reduces the chances of us getting diabetes in the first place. Next on our list is arthritis and bone health. Now, when it comes to the health of our bones and joints, exercise is proving to be vital to maintaining our mobility and independence as we age. 19% of all adults and 45% of adults over age 65 have arthritis, and 10% of Americans have osteoporosis, which is a loss of bone mass, with nearly 80% of those with osteoporosis being women. Now, weight-bearing and resistance training exercises are key when it comes to improving the health of our bones and joints. So activities like walking, jogging, rucking, stair climbing, weightlifting, stability and mobility exercises will have the most impact. And studies have shown that regular resistance training and load-bearing exercises can increase bone mineral density, which is an important defense against osteoporosis and fractures, especially as we get older. A May 22 article in Sports Medicine concluded that progressive resistance training programs simultaneously increase lower limb muscle strength and femur hip bone mineral density in older adults. So when it comes to arthritis, exercise is a great tool for managing both osteoarthritis, which is the wear and tear arthritis that many of us get, as well as rheumatoid arthritis, which is caused by the immune system attacking the joints. Now, numerous studies have demonstrated that regular physical activity can alleviate symptoms, improve joint function, and enhance the overall quality of life for individuals with arthritis. A systematic review published in 2021 evaluated the effects of exercise on knee osteoarthritis, and the analysis concluded that exercise programs are safe and effective, particularly in reducing pain and enhancing muscle strength. In summary, exercise can help reduce the pain associated with arthritis, improve joint mobility, and strengthen our bones and muscles, helping us remain active and independent for longer. That's a win in my book. Now, our final condition that we'll be exploring is cognitive decline. And when it comes to the health of our brains and preventing cognitive decline, think of things like Alzheimer's and dementia, exercise may be our best tool. Now, this one hits home for me as my mother passed away last year from complications due to Alzheimer's. So I'm keenly aware of the vicious nature of the disease, and I want to do whatever I can to reduce the chances that I or anyone else will be impacted by it. Now, one of the key benefits of exercise on brain health is that it increases the production of BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is a protein that has been shown to promote brain health, support neuroplasticity, and help prevent cognitive decline. So, anything we can do to get more BDNF is a good thing. So, what's the best exercise for boosting BDNF? Well, it turns out that high-intensity interval training, or HIIT training, is the best. Studies show that short bursts of intense exercise followed by recovery periods lead to significant spikes in BDNF. So an example would be 30 seconds of sprinting followed by 1 minute rest, repeated 6 to 8 times. HIIT training triggers metabolic stress and increases lactate production, which has been linked to a higher BDNF release. The next on the list is aerobic endurance exercise, Zone 2. We talk a lot about that on the channel. Now, sustained moderate to high-intensity cardiovascular activities like Zone 2 increase BDNF over time. So examples would be running, cycling, swimming, or brisk walking for 30 to 60 minutes at 70 to 80% of maximum heart rate. Aerobic exercise enhances blood flow, oxygen delivery, and neurotrophic factor production. Now, resistance training, while traditionally associated with muscle growth, resistance training also increases BDNF, especially when done at high intensity. So think of things like compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, and bench presses performed at moderate to high intensity. Strength training stimulates the central nervous system pretty dramatically, and that promotes neuroplasticity and BDNF. There you go. 5 diseases or conditions that many older adults are currently taking some type of medication for that could be dramatically improved through exercise. Now, this is by no means a comprehensive list, but the good news is that no matter what disease or affliction you may have or potentially deal with in the future, exercise will probably help. Now, if you found this helpful, please share it with someone who could also benefit. Give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It really does help. If you want to learn more about the importance of exercise as we get older, check out these videos over here. And until next time, take care, enjoy the journey, and be well.